The issue of our discussion is lack of intercultural communication skills and lead to weak academic adjustment. First of all, international students have encountered challenges in intercultural communication, especially in language barriers and cultural barriers, which could affect their communication process. This situation has been significantly shown among international students who are non-native English speakers because they are low confidence in their poor English ability in vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening comprehension. Language is a fundamental of communication. Some international students have a low communication and writing skills in English. Therefore, linguistic and cultural diversity instigates students to realize the importance of developing communication skills, especially when English is used as a lingua franca between non-native English speakers in the campus. Communication skills are manifested in people's interaction as well as their ability to reduce cross-cultural misunderstandings through communication strategy. The importance of English proficiency when an international student adjusts to a new educational and cultural environment. This is related to the practical challenges faced by the international students in reading, following lecturers, communicating, as well as writing the answers in English. Besides, due to cultural differences, international students used to communicate their cultural values, belief, and perception has become a factor that leads to weak intercultural communication and might lead to misinterpretation and misunderstanding. This cultural and language background strongly influence the intercultural communicative behavior, which would cause international students to encounter challenges in academic adjustment.
Next is research gap. New media emerge in current era, which could strongly affect the cultural and in-ethnic communication and shape the nature of intercultural communication and relation in Malaysia, multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multilingual and multi-religious society, which might have possibility to reduce level of barriers of intercultural communication. Besides, willingness to engage in communication will be influenced by the context of the situation, such as emotion and cultural difference acknowledgement, which also might cause the international students to face failure in academic adjustment.
We'll share with you all the data that we have analysis and what is the communication barriers that have been faced by international students in UUM. To get further data regarding our research, we have interviewed 5 international students who come from Indonesia. They have studied in UUM for 1 to 2 years. 4 of them are taking communication course and 1 is taking entrepreneurship course. To understand what intercultural communication barriers have been faced by international students in UUM, most of our interviewees have mentioned that the intercultural communication barriers that actually they are facing are language barriers. Most of them mentioned that even though Bahasa Malaysia, which is Bahasa Melayu, and Bahasa Indonesia has several similarities, but the slang and meaning in certain words will easily cause misunderstanding. However, surprisingly, the Indonesian international students don't face cultural barriers because they feel that culture in Indonesia and Malaysia have a lot of similarity which don't make them feel uncomfortable. All of them strongly agree that the language barriers could highly affect their communication process. Besides, we would like to understand how intercultural communication barriers lead to poor academic adjustment among international students in UUM. Our interviewee have mentioned that there are some lecturers are using Bahasa Melayu as teaching language, even though the course specifically mentioned that will be conducted in English during the adjunct session. And the lecturer even knows that there are international students in their class. The next big problem that they even face due to language barriers is when the slide of teaching is conducted in Bahasa Malaysia too. This has caused them to need more time to translate the slide into English for self-revision. This situation has caused them to face difficulties in their learning progress as they do not understand what their lecturer is teaching when the Bahasa Melayu is used. Therefore, they will ask the lecturer and other local students what they have been teaching in class by using the language that they are more familiar, which is English. Luckily, they do not face any problems in doing their assignment as the guideline is prepared in English. Besides, they will ask opinion from the lecturer before submitting their assignment.
After conducting the interviews, we came to the conclusion that there are not many measures in place to deal with the problem of language barriers that can lead to cultural misunderstandings among international students. The interview provided us with some pieces of advice, some of which were get to know some of the locals, don't be afraid to ask for assistance, become involved in local organizations, believe in yourself, and be more confident. Participating in extracurricular activities on campus, such as joining a club, is a great opportunity to get to know others who have similar passions to you and to make new friends. Students from the nation that is serving as the host country are an excellent resource for gaining exposure to the local culture and language. When it comes to striking up a discussion with a complete stranger in an unusual environment, students may face feelings of dread or embarrassment. They won't be able to learn a foreign language in another country for 5 years and then be able to hold a conversation in that language. It is up to the students to participate in the discussion in a self-assured and brave manner. It will feel normal after a couple of chats in which both parties have gotten a deeper knowledge of the other's point of view. During the course of a lecture, if there is anything that you are unclear of, do not be hesitant or scared to ask the instructor or lecturer a question about it. One way to maintain great grades and accomplish more academically is to pay more attention in class and learn more from the lectures. This is also a good way to do more academically overall. That is all I have to say on behalf of myself and our group. Thank you.